Welcome to the Nightfright Library, a special October collection from the Nightlight Library. These stories are a little spooky, but never scary. Just right for little adventurers who like their bedtime tales with a touch of Halloween magic. So, light a candle, snuggle close, and let's begin.
The Locked Door on the Upper Landing. Written by Elian. Brambleshade Manor was unusually quiet that October night. Even the grandfather clock seemed to tick more softly, as though it didn't wish to wake the shadows. Outside, the wind pressed gently against the windows, rattling the ivy that climbed the stone walls. Every so often, the house gave one of its long, creaking sighs, the sort that made you wonder whether it was settling or remembering. Most of the candles had burned down to small, sleepy pools of wax. Their trembling light made the portraits along the staircase look almost alive, their painted eyes glimmering with reflected flame. And it was there, on the upper landing, between the tall arched window and the portrait of a lady who always looked slightly surprised, that a door had appeared. It hadn't been there yesterday. At least, no one thought it had. Mrs. Thimblewick, who kept the teacup mice and always knew when a room had been dusted, swore there'd only ever been a stretch of wallpaper patterned with roses. And the caretaker, that tall, quiet figure who seemed to drift more than walk, simply frowned and muttered that the upper floors
do like to move about in October.
The new door was plain oak with a handle of old brass, cool as moonlight and shaped like a curled vine. A small keyhole sat beneath it, dark and watchful. When you leaned close, you could hear something on the other side. Not frightening sounds, just curious ones. A hush like autumn wind moving through trees. The faint rustle of leaves, though no garden grew on the upper floor. Once, there was even the soft chime of what might have been birdsong, though muffled, as if sung through sleep. The door was locked, firmly, but the air around it seemed to breathe, slow and steady, like the manor itself was thinking. For a long while, the landing held its breath. Then, with a small sigh, the handle twitched. The lock clicked once, and the door opened just enough to let something slip through, a swirl of golden brown leaves. They burst into the hall like tiny dancers, whirling through the candlelight. Some brushed against the walls, leaving faint glows where they touched, while others circled your ankles with a whispery laugh. The sound they made wasn't quite language, but it felt like meaning. If you tilted your head just so, you might have heard, "Some doors only open when the season is right." One leaf fluttered higher than the rest and drifted down the staircase, settling beside the umbrella stand. Another came to rest on the polished banister, its edges glimmering faintly, as if catching a light from somewhere you couldn't see. For a heartbeat, it felt as though the manor itself was breathing along with them, the whole house exhaling stories it had been keeping for years. Then, the leaves began to fade. One by one, their golden shimmer dimmed, until only the faintest scent of earth and rain remained. The door gave a quiet click, and eased shut, so softly that the candles hardly trembled. Down below, Mrs. Thimblewick looked up from polishing a teacup, ears twitching.
"Ah,"
she said to the mice.
"the upstairs has opened its windows again."
And as the last leaf vanished beneath the staircase, the house settled once more into its hush. The fire sighed, the clock ticked, and the night gathered itself around Brambleshade Manor like a warm cloak. Perhaps next October, the door will open wider, but for tonight, its secret rests in the hush of the hall, waiting among the fallen leaves. Sleep tight, sweet dreams, and I'll see you on our next spooky adventure.